trying what you was talking to me about yesterday as regarding finding a firm area where there might not be too much silt.
Yeah.
I've been plodding around and I've not really grasped the difference. I can't really tell so much, so I wonder if you could actually show me and demonstrate how I can find the clear patches on the bottom.
Yeah, of course can.
That would be more suitable for lining my bait up.
Are you using nylon or are you using braided line?
I'm using nylon.
Nylon does make it a little bit more difficult. It duddens the feel a little bit.
Right.
Braided mainline transmits so much more through it. Really exaggerates what you're pulling the lead over.
Right.
So it's possible why you're not particularly, finding the firmer bits, the softer bits. With the braid, I do find if fish braid all the way through on a marker float, you do get quite a few tangles with the marker float spinning up around the main line. So I always use a nylon leader on the end of it.
Okay.
Only keep that at probably about 16-18 foot, just enough for 2 or 3 turns on the spool.
Right.
If you go too long, you end up with problems with line catching on the knot when you're casting. So I keep that short because I'd never fish with the plumbing rod, the marker rod. Just use it purely for feeling the bottom. But that is an absolute essential part of my fishing.
Right.
I need to know I'm fishing on a clean area, an area where the fish have kept it clean basically.
Yeah.
If you imagine the lake bottom, it's like a very dusty room. The fish don't pick up individual items, they hoover the bottom. If you find a good clean area, the fish have been feeding there, it's somewhere where they want to feed.
See, that was something you said earlier, and I was very surprised about that because obviously with you saying that there is areas there, it's quite technical in my eyes. I never realised that carp fishing could get that advanced where you could actually pick clear areas to place your bait, and that was definitely surprising.
Yeah, definite areas where they'd rather feed. You get soft areas where you get, the bloodworm in there. There's lots of natural food in there, but it's always more difficult to present a rig in it.
See, I have spotted and marker floated before, but I've not done it to the extent of where I was finding it. I just found an area that I thought it was deep enough, and I knew how to take the marker out, and then I'd spotted that area, but I didn't realise at the bottom that's opened a whole new ball game up for me. That.
Oh yeah, so many people that just use the marker float just to find a gravel bar or the edge of a weed bed or whatever. A lot of the waterside fish the mangrove a lot in Shropshire. It's totally flat bottom, very similar to this lake. It's very silty. There's no features to find other than firm areas and softer areas. Ideally, I like to find a firm area that's obviously been fed on.
Yeah.
On the edge of a soft area, so you've got natural food around it, but your rig's presented properly, and it's an area that's kept clean.
Right.
As a wind in, you very often get little bits of debris on the lead and everything. Yeah. Always have a smell of that. Sometimes it smells putrid, smells horrible. You don't want to be fishing those areas.
So Shaun, I've noticed that when I usually use a marker float, I come straight through with the mainland and straight onto the weight. Now I've noticed you're using something that looks a bit like a lead core leader, and using some sort of a clip here that worries me about the fact that maybe that might catch on something.
No, it's a good question that. I actually use the fact that it will catch on things to see what's on the bottom. If you cast into silt amongst leaves and such like, there's normally bloodworm there. If you find bloodworm beds, you can be sure that carp are going to visit them. With this little hook on there, it does pick up the leaves, always bring bits of debris back.
Alright, good idea.
I mean, the debris, always examine what's on the lead. Instead of just pulling it off, throwing it away, have a good look what's in there, see if there's any natural food in there anyway.
And is that a lead
That can
core
be a good
leader?
clue. It's similar to a lead core. It's a braided fly line backing,
Right.
which I've spliced myself. Just nice and neat. There's no joins, no knots on there. It's about a £30 breaking strain, that, so there's no problems with that at all.
Also noticed you've got a very nice eye ring there or something.
That's right, it's a free spirit run ring, that is. It's silicon carbide lines, just same as your rod rings.
Yeah,
very slippy, nothing sticks in there, all slides through nicely. But you notice the tubing I've got there, if I'm fishing very weedy lakes and I don't want to get that jammed up, you just pull the tubing down, slide the tubing over the clip.
Very good.
So it's just a dual purpose type thing.